So here Saul is. He's king. He has every resource at his disposal to fulfill their dreams. He can snap his fingers and do it. But does he? Nope. Why not? Because he's a complainer. And it doesn't matter how convenient it is for a complainer to lift a finger. They won't, because of the complainer's creed. Principle number 1, always be the victim. Never ever be the hero or save the day. And Samuel tells Saul, you're the king, be the king. And Saul says, sure. And Samuel says, lead the army to the battlefield, wait for me. I'll come on the 7th day. I'll do all the work. Just stand there, look pretty. It's very easy. Just stand like this. Look flashy. Hold your sword up, smile. You can do that. Saul says, sure. But this is what happens. The army starts to look at Saul and they start to cry. Because some of them look at King Zero and they start whining, when is Samuel the hero going to get here? And Saul says, soon, here, take a selfie with me. And they're not feeling good. So they scatter, and some of them just walk off the battlefield. So pretty boy Saul, he starts banging some pots and pans. He's like, hey, okay, even though Samuel said, wait, okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the burnt offering. So he's supposed to tie up the lamb, sacrifice it on the altar, but the lamb starts crying. Saul's dog starts feeding it. They end up having a petting zoo, not a burnt offering. And finally, when Samuel arrives, he's like, how hard is it to look good until I get here? And Samuel is schlepping all this equipment, all the supplies for the burnt offering. Samuel's doing all the work. He's just asking so little from the zero. And Saul has stories why he can't just do one little thing. And that's called offloading. The zeros offload every single tiny expectation on them because they're training your mind to think of them as zeros. I'm a zero. Ask nothing of me. They're training you. You're supposed to know that they can do nothing. And they're always happy to explain why. On and on, stories. And whenever someone complains nonstop, they are refusing to step up. They're work avoidant. And Samuel tells Saul, just do the work. And Saul would rather sit there, complain, and take 0 action steps. Complaining is a technique to get out of something. It's a lie. And the lie is, there's nothing I can do about it except complain. Therefore, you do it for me while I sit here and eat crackers. They still want to keep the title. They still want to be king. They still want to get paid. But you volunteer to do all the work. In other words, slavery. And when you feel sorry for a complainer, you will agree to be their slave. And then you're in the excuse Olympics. Your complainer competes against you. And I'm telling you, they're always going to have a bigger, faster excuse. You can say, I'm poor. And you're a king, by the way. And they say, oh, my money's all tied up right now. I don't even have 10 cents. And you say, I'm sick. They say, I'm an addict. You say, I got to pick up my son from daycare. And they say, I want to kill myself in the next 5 minutes if you don't get here now. And you know what God told me when I asked him about my complainer? He said, there are no excuses to ask people to be slaves. And complainers are slave makers. If you hang out with a slave maker, you'll end up being a slave, which leads you to having slave mindset. Slave mindset blocks your abundance. Being someone's slave is temporary because you're eventually going to break up with them. But slave mindset is permanent. It goes on for generations. You pass it down to your grandkids. It's extremely hard to reverse. So I recommend don't start because this thing don't finish. Slave mindset is a very long road. And when someone is complaining nonstop, you know this. It's a slave making mindset again. They're doing that thing. They're trying to recruit you into another slave making operation. And I'm not saying you need to stop being friends with complainers. You just need to stop being their slave. They got wings, they can fly, but this is you carrying them on your back. A whole new world. Yeah, for them, because they just got a new slave. You're doing all the work.